Tomorrow.
Oh my God, are you so excited?
I'm excited. I'm also a little nervous.
Why? Let's talk about it.
I think just because of the commitment I'm about to make, and I've never had a cat before, so I don't know how he's gonna.
I am so excited for you. Like, I've been talking. I mentioned her before, but David Spade's assistant, who I was instantly like friends with, she was talking about having cats, and sorry to like bring that. She recently lost a cat that she had for like, since a really long time, and like just the way she was crying about it and the way that she processed the grief and like went through it, and like as sad as it was, I was like, oh wow, it's so cool that someone can feel this way about an animal that, for me, cats just seem kind of like, we don't care that you're there. Like, they just don't seem as, I've never been as inclined to get one as much as dogs, because dogs just seem so needy and like give you what you want, even though Luigi definitely doesn't anymore. I just was like, and I've always been sold on pretty much every animal. You guys know that I loved that wingless bumblebee and was like sobbing in my bed over it. But I'm just, I'm thinking about getting a cat too, because they are more low maintenance, and they're just, I like things that play hard to get, and everyone I love loves cats. So the musical, but also the animal. And I just feel like that's all the evidence I need. And I have the room in my heart and in my apartment and the money to like maybe take one that needs medical care. Like, why am I not giving back? I definitely want to make sure that it would fit into my life. But I think Luigi would enjoy it. But I don't know. I just, seeing my friend Heather talk about her cat passing away, even though it was like, God, I would never want that pain. It kind of sold me on the bond of a cat. And she said her other cat, which was normally like the one that needs a lot of attention, is always kind of like bothering her and like won't let her give more attention to the other one. When the other one was dying all of a sudden, and it came on really fast, even though it was like an old cat, it just happened very quickly, got cancer. And she said the other cat just like stayed away and was like, this is the other cat's time. Like, they're so intuitive and they're so smart, and that's why they don't need us, is they're like, they know better. And I think you're gonna learn from your cat, like what kind of, and then I'll just finish this by saying that it was really beautiful. Like, when she left to go put the cat down, and she like talked to the cat that was, the cat's friend, sister, I think they were siblings, and was like, this is goodbye. And the cat just like didn't freak out like it normally does when she leaves. And then when she came back, it was just very nurturing to her and like more having its own sense of mourning. And I was just like, it's so beautiful that, first of all, she had a cat to comfort her through her cat's loss. And just, that's what sold me on the bumblebee thing. And I want to get a bumblebee too, is because these animals that, I had it in my mind that cats were just not like that affectionate. And I'd only based this off of my grandma's cat, who was given to us after my grandma passed. And now I feel so sad for Tootsie, and how she was probably so scared. And like, we were just kids, and was like, Tootsie, come out from under the bed. And it's like, Tootsie's mourning, and like, so I just think there's like worlds of love and things you'll learn from this cat. And like, you can do anything, Noah. You figure out everything. You were reading a book about how to like install wires into your walls and stuff. Like, you just go to the library and like pick up a book about, I just bought my nephew Arlo a book about big cats, if you want me to send that. It's a very easy read. It has like 4 words per page. What have you learned about cats in your research? Because I know you've done a ton, that is like making you excited / nervous about this.
Okay, so the first thing, when I really like look into what my hesitation is, it's just I'm just afraid that I'll fail, that I'll have to give the cat up, and then I just never want to put an animal in a shelter after I've committed to taking it. So that's
okay.
it. But
can I just say one thing to that? You will not put it to a shelter if you need to give it up. That's not something you do. You wouldn't, even if the cat like scratched your face and like murdered your fiance, you would not bring it to a shelter. Oh, Andrew's home. The dog's barking. I'm going to take that dog to the shelter later on today because of the bark. You can't interrupt my podcast, Luigi. I said 1 strike and you're out. I don't give him 3. So you wouldn't do that. So that fear is illogical, because you would find a home for it that you trusted, like I did with my dogs when they became like I couldn't give them the care I wanted. I gave them to my parents, who I had known were good caretakers, and like, you'll find a good place for it. Or you'll find a rescue that places it in a good place. So and you won't be a failure, but yes. Okay, so it's not going to end up in a shelter again. So that fear is okay, but you might still fail. Real fear. Okay, what's another fear? And I'm sorry to disprove these. I just wanted to jump in and say that just won't happen. You won't do that to your cat.
Yeah, so that's it. I got a very good tip from one of our besties. Her name is Mama Moon.
That sounds like a cat owner for sure.
She has reached out to me because I asked for some tips, and she gave me a really good one that I didn't know about having two litter boxes in the house, not just one. So that was a good one that I didn't know about.
I should get an extra one for Andrew. Yeah. That is, he compared something to a litter box the other day that he never changed, and I was like, yeah, that seems about right. That's a good plan. I think that is it going to be an outdoor cat? What are we doing here?
No way.
Okay, good. It's so many birds die because of that, and I don't want to create any enemies with people that have outdoor cats, but they just kill so many birds a year, and we all know how I feel about birds, but I feel that way about cats. I'm not mad at the cat either. That's cats just being itself. I never get mad at animals for being dicks. Except Luigi just now, because it's just like he knows when I'm podcasting, and like he loves podcasts too, so he should appreciate like ones that don't have like ambient noise in the background. Yeah, I'm excited. You know what? It's so exciting to take on a new responsibility that you're like, can I do this? I mean, I have a friend who is pregnant, and like the second, I was going to say he because sometimes I change the gender to protect people, but that ain't going to work in this scenario. Well, it could if she identifies now as a he, and like that's up to them. But she is like, oh my God, like I can I do this? Like freaking out. And I was like, this must be I've never been pregnant, but it must be a common fear of women who are trying to conceive. And like, I mean, this friend of mine is obsessed with kids. All she talks about is like, I want to be a mother. Like, oh, look at that mother over there. Like, it just was in her. She was already like getting ready to do this. And so I go, you wanted this. It's so weird that sometimes when we get the things that we want, or the things we sign up for, or the things then we freak out, because man, I relate to that. But no one knows how to be a mom. No one knows how to be a cat owner. No one knows how to do anything until you do it. You can read all the books. You can talk to all the people, and you should, because I hate when parents go, there's no manual on how to be a good parent. And it's like, yes, there is. There's like sections of bookstores, like whole shelves about parenting. Like you could read a book. Stop like acting like, I love that people go, if I have to go see a parenting expert or read a book, then I'm not meant to be a parent. Or if I have to go to therapy, if I have to go to couples counselor, then we should just break up, because if we can't do it on our own, listen to me when I say that again, because I just used this logic on someone and it like blew their mind. The person, because I think a lot of people are in relationships where it's like, wow, we could really use a mediator because we just fall into the same patterns of fighting. And, and not that you know what's right and they don't know what's right. And you're like, oh, they're so stubborn. Maybe you feel that way, but you're probably communicating in a way that's making it hard to get anything accomplished and to negotiate with your partner. And couples counseling, so many people I've heard over the years say, dude, if you have to go to a counselor or a therapist as a couple, you're dead in the water. It's over. Like, that's a sign, especially if it's early. And it's like, no, okay, well, use this logic. And I'm talking to women mainly because this is a good one for men. But men too, if you have a girlfriend that's stubborn about going to therapy, really hasn't been to it before, or go, okay, well, when you want to get in shape, you have arms and muscles, and like, you know where weights are. Why don't you just like lift weights? Like, isn't that common knowledge? Like, because I think a lot of people go, if we can't make this work on our own, like if it's not just easy, then it's not going to happen. How many times have people gotten in shape in different ways, or a trainer has unlocked something that you could have done on your own, but you didn't know to bend that way, or to keep your back straight? Like, these little things, and you don't have to go to them the rest of your life. You pick up things along the way. So if you relate therapy to trainers, a lot of people will relate, especially men, because men love fitness and they can totally understand going to a trainer, but they will never understand, not never, but it's harder for them to grasp an emotional trainer. Pretty much your brain is like your body, and you need a doctor for it, just like you need a doctor for everything else in your body, except me, because I haven't gone to the doctor in so long. I'm so excited about you getting a cat. I kind of want a cat now. I'm like talking myself into a cat, but I talk myself into a different animal all the time. I'm getting ready to have a film crew in my life a lot, and Luigi barks at everything that comes in. So I'm thinking about him living with my parents for a little bit, and then maybe getting a cat that's more chill about like film crews. I don't know, but I was always reluctant to even share that I let my pets be taken care of by my parents while I couldn't give them the best life. Because I remember Lena Dunham gave up her rescue dog or gave it to a friend or something, and people freaked, or gave it back, and they're like freaked out, like that's the worst thing you can do. And of course it's like not ideal, like don't sign up for something you don't think you can do, but sometimes like the first day I got Luigi as a foster dog, he bit me, and it was either because it was obviously I didn't know how to handle a dog that had his level of abuse, and I remember my parents were visiting from St. Louis when I got Luigi in LA, and they were like, get rid of this dog. This is not going to work out. You need to give him back. And I was just like, I was sobbing, just like, why can't I do this? Like, what? I know that there's ways. So I got books. I read books, thirds of books. Truly, I did. I remember reading Cesar Millan's book that you should, when you walk your dog and when you interact with your dog, act like Cleopatra. Act like you're the queen, because the dog wants to follow a leader. And that really changed everything for me. I don't know. I guess, have you gotten any cat books?
I haven't gotten cat books. I've just been reading online and just talking to different people. I think you're right about that. I just have to do it and just like go through the experience, and I'll figure it out.
No, you're one of the most capable people. Like, if listeners to the show don't really understand. I mean, you all love Noah, and I love that because she doesn't even like. There's not that many interactions with her on the show as much as I had hoped for, because I can't shut the fuck up. But like, Noah is, when the listeners love you and say hi to you too and stuff, I'm like, oh my God, they fucking get it. Like, Noah's the best. Someone actually wrote me yesterday. Can I read this to you, Noah? You're going to love this.
Oh boy, putting me on the spot.
I know, isn't it awkward to get compliments? But I met Noah because she was assigned to me at Sirius to be the producer for my Sirius show back when I started in 2018. And I had come from TV where you interview a lot of producers and then you choose. Like, it's up to you. It's not up to Sirius. And so I was kind of like, you're just giving me the one person who probably got fired from some other job and, like, needs placement. And then your friend Roland, my friend Roland, vouched for you. And I really, like, trust him. And then I was like, you know what? Why are you putting up a fight? Let's just embrace this. And you came with, like, not only him, but everyone said you were amazing. And they were really invested in me there. So I didn't think they were just going to give me riffraff. And yeah, upon first meeting, I looked like your Barbie doll. You looked so young that I was like, this girl. But you were hungry, and like, so I gave you a snack. And then, no, you just can figure out anything. You can do anything. You've helped me so much in my own life, in my personal life. You're always there for me. You also take care of yourself and have really good boundaries. You're just an amazing person, and you can do anything, especially take care of a cat, because cats are just like, I got this bitch. But here's what I got from my friend Laura in Dallas, who's a listener to the show. I went to high school with her. She was the first person I talked to when September 11th happened, because she was sitting next to me in class. But she's a bestie, and I'm trying to get her to move to St. Louis because I want friends. She said, "Dear Lord, please pass along to Noah that her ad read was so good. She seriously has such a great soothing / sexy / calming voice." What ad read did you do? I don't even know this.
I did one for like a podcast on our network. I don't know if it's that one.
Dude, I loved hearing that so much. But
I tried.
Yeah, you're extraordinary. And
I followed your lead though. Because you have like a certain voice quality, and it really taught me that, whoa, these ads are not easy at all, even if you have a script. So I just want to like send that compliment back to you, because you've taught me a lot about on-air stuff that I didn't really know.
So funny. Before we bring Andrew in, remember the DSW ads that I think still run? Mm-hmm. And I would love to do more. If anyone's listening out there, DS Dubs. If Dave DSW, I think that's his last name, is listening, I would love to do more. When I got the script, it was like, just read this, don't paraphrase. And I was like annoyed by that kind of prompt. So I was like, I'll just make this I'll do a joke. I even said, I gave you a read and I go, hey guys, this is Nikki. I'm going to do this like kind of summertime on the radio advertising voice spot where it's like, DSW, the brands you love and trust. And I was really doing it as like almost a joke, because it was part of the read to be like, I'm going to do this as a joke so that I could take some kind of like control. You took that part out, the setup, and it's just the read. And people kept, and I didn't know that. And that was the right move, by the way, because people kept
I had
writing
to keep
me
it
being
30
like,
seconds. It was a hard 30
yeah,
and
it was
a
a
hard
time
60.
thing, not a
Not a creative
people kept
thing.
writing me going, are you the DSW voice? And I go, I think so. I remember doing a read for them, but I didn't remember it was the one that I did the kind of fake one. And they go, is that you? It sounds exactly like you, but like not you. And then I heard it when I was listening to the podcast to see if I was as mean to Andrew as everyone had said on Reddit. And I heard it and I was like, oh my God, that is a really good, like, that was good.
We had a Fanthrax that I didn't get to last week or the week before where one of our besties called in and she's like, I love the part where you're like, whoa there, Dad. We actually had a voicemail about that.
It's funny. That's what you need to do for acting and like voice acting is do a joke of it. And then it ends up sounding like, because everything is so exaggerated, you don't even realize it until you actually start shooting things and you see that unless you exaggerate so much, like people that do like, you know, like cereal commercials of like, the harvest is here and fresh blueberries mixed with crunchy oats. Like no one talks like that, but it doesn't sound ridiculous in an ad. It sounds perfect.
Right.
And so you need to like do as ridiculous as you can and then it ends up sounding good. It's wild. All right, let's get Andrew in here.
This past year has shown us that without your health, you have nothing. If you're not well, you can't work, look after yourself, or take care of your family. You can't enjoy the life you worked so hard to build. That's why you need to prioritize taking care of your long-term health today, before it goes from good to bad to worse. So invest in your long-term health with Forward. Forward is intelligent medicine with a personal touch. Their doctors are dedicated to catching top killers like cancer and heart disease early, before it's too late. And catching them early could save you tens of thousands of dollars in the long run. Everyone's health history is different, which is why Forward doctors personalize a health plan with you, based on your genetics, lifestyle, and biometrics, to achieve long-term results and ensure nothing gets missed. It's time to invest in a doctor that's invested in you. Go to GoForward.com today to protect your future health. That's GoForward.com. GoForward.com.
Strawberry Spring, based on a short story by Stephen King.
Is someone there? I can't see you through the fog. Oh, it's you, thank God. Oh, please! No, don't! Help!
There was a murder on the campus of New Sharon College. Sources close to the investigation tell us that it was a female co-ed, late teens to early 20s. We'll have more.
Hello?
Henry, have you heard the news?
Yeah, just now on the radio.
There was a murder on campus. It has all the signs.
Are you telling me?
We can't be sure, but as of right now, it looks like Spring Heel Jack is back.
Strawberry Spring, starring Garrett Hedlund and Milo Ventimiglia. Produced by Audio Up Media and iHeartRadio. Listen to Strawberry Spring on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
John Lennon was a musical genius and one of the most beloved cultural figures of the 20th century. His songs inspired dreamers to imagine, but some thought he dreamed too much. Others thought he was too powerful. So he was followed, he was threatened, he was declared a danger to the United States. And in 1980, he was assassinated. Blood on the Tracks returns with Season 2, The John Lennon Story, premiering Thursday, August 19th. Blood on the Tracks is part true crime, part historical fiction, part spoken word lo-fi beat noir, brought to you by me, Jake Brennan. Season 2 of Blood on the Tracks, The John Lennon Story, will focus on the former Beatles' final decade in America. It is a tale full of paranoia, police raids, kidnappings, wiretaps, lost weekends, extortion, and murder. Listen to Blood on the Tracks on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
I'm Robert Evans, and does it seem like everything's kind of falling apart? That's because it is. First off, climate change is hitting a lot harder than our most optimistic predictions had anticipated, and that's leading to infrastructure falling apart. It's leading to food and everything becoming more expensive. It's just going to cause a lot of continued problems, and weird problems, like, remember when toilet paper wasn't available? That kind of weird. It's going to keep happening, and we're also going to continue our lurch into authoritarianism, and that can be kind of scary. But the good news is that when things start to fall apart, we all have an opportunity to replace them with something better, to build a new world from the ashes of the old. On my new show, It Could Happen Here, Monday through Friday, we'll chronicle the collapse, yes, but we're also going to talk to visionaries and thinkers who have ideas about what could replace it, and who are going out there in the world right now to try to build something better. So, listen to It Could Happen Here on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, Andrew.
Yo.
Don't knock over that lava lamp. Don't knock over the lava lamp. We have a lava lamp on set, y'all. And
can we put it in the middle?
Yeah, you can put it in the middle.
There we go.
Yeah, put it in the middle. Put the lava lamp in the middle of the tape.
How about the hedgehog being stolen by Whitney Cummings, and now I can't be the hedgehog anymore?
Oh, you can be the hedgehog. You were we have documentation that you were the original HH, and yeah, I mean, I sent him a video yesterday that she said that her spirit animal is a hedgehog, or whatever we're saying instead of spirit animal now. But
oh, is there a new word for it, for real?
Well, it's that's like a Native American phrase that like white girls have adopted to be like, oh my God, like people tell me I'm their spirit animal all the time, which is so nice because I know what they're saying. Like they're like, oh, I want to be you. I feel like I'm you, but I'm not.
You're like my inner me that I can't show.
Or yeah. But I am an animal. Humans are animals. But it's I think it's supposed to be like an actual like mammal or maybe not even a mammal. I don't know. What's your what animal do you feel besides the jaguar?
Wow,
what animal do you really feel is close to? Is it the hedgehog?
I feel like a sloth, but a little bit faster. So like a sloth, the fastest sloth. I feel like I attribute a lot of myself.
A sloth on speed.
Yeah, a sloth after he took some speed.
Some ADD meds.
Yeah. He injected it into his neck.
Yeah, you're like that sloth that guy moves off the road and then it turns around slowly and like gives him like a peace sign. Because sloths only have like two. It always looks like they're giving.
I literally just did that to my Uber driver.
Yeah.
I was just like, I had this black guy Uber driver who was like the coolest guy ever. So I
had one the other day too that was like my Uber driver or my driver
was like
was the
real
coolest.
Cool sloth in the back, just talking about like my voice gets down here for some reason.
Because you emulate anyone's voice that you're talking to. I
especially a cool person, like, and he's not cool just because he's black. But he was. Hurt. It didn't hurt.
Yeah. The way that Andrew has his arms, the way you had them over the chair, is kind of like the way a sloth hangs in the tree. Also,
it absolutely is. You do have
And this guy was so cool though. He's like, I was in Iraq in '92. Then I was in Chicago. My lady wanted me to come down to St. Louis, more family-like. And I was like, yeah, man, I get that. He's like, yeah. And then got my boy. He's like, where you from? I was like, Florida. He's like, yeah, man, my boy wants me to come down to Miami. I ain't going to bring the lady, though, because, we know.
Because she
I
burns easily. Oh, no, that's not it?
No. And I was just like, yeah, man, you'd be breaking your neck down there. Like, I'm like, just like,
I would love to hear. If next time you have an Uber conversation with someone cooler than you, I need you to record it for a Slice of Life segment. Because,
you would make fun of me so much while I'm talking. I can feel
before I started kind of like pointing it out to you that you would shift, which you already knew about.
Yeah,
but before I pointed it out to you and started calling you out on it, man, you would go on stage anywhere a little bit. We'd go like 1 mile south in New York.
New Jersey, yeah.
We go to New Jersey. Is New Jersey south of? Yeah, it is.
Woo, boy.
I feel like I don't know New York directions. Like that island just shoots out, and I get very confused by my surroundings. And
well, Connecticut, I always thought was south, but it's north of New York.
I would have guessed north, but I also wouldn't have been sure about that guess. But whenever we go a little bit south, like Atlanta, and then that's south. Like that's definitely south. You twang it up on stage.
Ooh, I twang it up, boy.
But it's I do the same thing. I mean, I can.
But that's even if I talk to one individual. Like if I talk to someone from Long Island, I'm talking with my hands. I'm like, yo, you went down to the island? Where were you? In McGann, where you take the fucking turnpike down there? And I'm like, who the fuck am I? Like, I'll get done with the conversation and be like,
you're like gonna shake it off. Like, what am I doing?
But ever since I was young, you were kind of like
you
that.
Spit in you have chew in your lip. You're like, how did that even get there?
Oh, when I go down south, it comes on down here. Yeah, gets a little slower down there. I just get in my Dodge Ram and truck down there.
I give people what it's. I really want to explore it. Like, I think it's going to be, I don't think I'm going to tackle it for my next special, but like somewhere down the road, people pleasing and the different types is fascinating to me. If anyone knows a good book about that or like some kind of material or podcast about how we shift into other people, because
we're shapeshifters.
Because we, at least for me, I'm just going to speak from my own perspective. I just didn't want to be me. And I thought that everyone was, I just assumed that everyone else got lucky being born the way they were, and I didn't.
Well, how many different phases? Let's go through Nikki's phases, because I had a lot of phases.
My phases, when did your phases start? When do you think you started this adaptation? Because I think we can probably pinpoint.
Probably around the time I started going to private school with all Christian kids.
So what grade?
I was like 11.
Wow, early.
Or 12, and my parents started fighting, and I started being called a dumb Jew in school, and then a dumb Jew at home. And I was like, Mom, you're Jewish, you know? She's like, you're dumb, though. You are dumb. And I was like, Mom, you're drunk. And she's like, who am I? And
so, yeah, you started having, I think it's interesting. I was watching this thing
How old were you?
Reddit the other day about when children become aware of themselves. Like there's a time when you're a toddler, you don't know that you're a thing. You just are experiencing the outside world. And it's almost like the correct way because you aren't a thing. You're just consciousness. You're not, I mean, it's...
Oh, that's the best, right? You're just getting pushed and pulled, but you're like...
Everything's a movie, but you don't have any authority over it. You have no influence over it. There was a fascinating way where they showed like the exact around age where like a 15-month-old... It's the shopping cart experiment. They have this little kid with a shopping cart, and its mom is like 3 feet in front of them. There's a little shopping cart, and the shopping cart behind it, like where the kid would push, is a rug, and the wheels are attached to the rug. So in order to push the cart, you have to step off the rug.
Okay.
Which would make a baby, if they realize, because they're pushing it and they won't push. But at like 18 months, something clicks, and the kid knows to step off the rug. And it's not because they realize rugs and things attached to things. It's because they realize that they have influence on things around them. And before that, the kid cannot understand why the cart won't push. The kid, and then at like 16 months, the kid will start to see something's going on and go around to the front wheels, then step back on the carpet. And finally at 18 months... This is
us trying to put the video in the computer.
I mean, the podcast, you're so right. Like to upload footage.
At 37 years, or 36
My mom
years.
has to stand on the other side of the camera and go, come on, Nikki, upload, drag the file over there. Good girl.
Noah's laughing at this one.
Noah's dying.
She knows one computer thing.
Yeah, Noah gets it. No, Noah's very capable of that stuff. We've figured it out enough. Today I did some gymnastics, like mental gymnastics to get it done.
Okay, so I'm sorry, I'm cut you off. So you're pushing on the rug, and then they eventually...
Yeah, it was just interesting. So I think that's like the most freedom is before you realize you're a thing and also before, and then you realize you're a person, and you're like, oh, I am accountable for things. People can get mad at me. I am responsible for my own behavior, which, by the way, you're not. Like, no free will, all that stuff. Or like if you believe in God, like God is responsible for you or a higher power, whatever. And then that takes you 37 years to realize it's not everything you do is your fault. That takes a really long time. But you go through this middle point where you feel like everything you feel, everything you think, everything you do is your fault, and like you're a bad person because of it. And like for me, I felt like when I realized I wasn't as pretty as other girls, or the boys didn't like me, which I didn't even want boys to like me. Didn't even care. I just wanted them to like me so that if I wanted to, I could do it. But the fact that they didn't want me was just so, like, I thought I was special, and like I'm not. Like Megan's special, Katie's special, and they have a thing called boobs. What were you seeing?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Blonde hair that is a shape that mine's not, or I would just find something about them, and then I would, I talked like this for a while because there's this girl that was really popular that talked like this. So I talked like this. And if you went to Kirkwood High School in 8th grade, you might know who I'm talking about. But she talked like this, and all the boys liked her. And she'd be like, "What do you mean?"
Sarah Silverman went to school with you?
Well, then I know,
yeah.
Emulating Sarah Silverman forever.
You're like, I already got the voice.
And honestly, I still see her in myself. Like I see in Megan, I want to be her. She had huge boobs, but that wasn't going to happen for me. So I would, she had like braces, and she would kind of talk like this. And so like I would do like I had like bubble gum in my mouth. Like I would kind of be like, and she just was cool. But like I picked the weirdest thing. One girl had kind of a lazier eye, and she was really popular. But she was popular because she was confident and beautiful and good. I remember one time in 2nd grade. That was, oh man, what a pivotal moment. 2nd grade, we were all watching a movie in some class. It was all the grades together. Maybe it was 4th grade, but we were in a 2nd grade hallway. I don't know why. we were all watching this movie, and I remember the movie ended early, and they had to kill time, and so they were like, does anyone want to like show and tell or something? And in my head, I'm like, God, I would love to have something, but I don't have any talent. And I remember this girl confidently raised her hand and then sang solo without a cappella a song, and I was so jealous that she had the confidence. I just couldn't believe, and I just was like, I want that confidence. But instead I just faked a lazy eye for a little bit. I would just kind of shut one eye.
I mean, that's wild that you had a sloth eye. Yeah. It all comes back
and
together.
I thought that was gonna be the thing. It's like when I drink smart water and I think it's gonna make me more like Jennifer Aniston. It's like, that's not it.
Yeah, it's just what you saw how small I was.
Yeah, oh my God, you guys, you don't understand how small Andrew was. Like, we don't, dude.
You can't comprehend it. I'll put a photo up on the.
You have to. Noah, make sure he sends one to you, because his class photo is so insane. You guys, what grade was that?
That was probably fourth or fifth grade.
You guys, he is in the front row.
Girls started going through puberty, though.
It's all girls. And in the front row with Andrew. He's on the side next to his teacher, and then it starts girls, and then behind him are all the boys. He is probably a foot shorter than all the girls. It looked like you were one of those kids that, you know, in Almost Famous,
yeah,
when she lies to her son about being much younger than he is.
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah,
he goes,
yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I'm what? And Zoe Deschanel was like, Mom, tell him.
I found out I was 5 that day.
You looked 5. You looked 5, and everyone else looked 12.
My writing.
Did people say that to you all the time?
Yeah, like, dude, I was the smallest, but I was cute. Oh, he's so cute. And then I was, you know, I didn't even know I was really Jewish, though, until I went to an all-Christian school. Like, I knew I was Jewish, but, like...
You didn't know it was a thing that anyone would have a problem with.
I honestly think rich Christians hate Jews because Jews start stepping on their turf. Does that make sense?
I didn't know there was anything wrong with being Jewish either, or not that there is anything, but I didn't know that there was a thing... Obviously, I thought I knew the Holocaust happened and stuff like that. I didn't know, and they were persecuted. I didn't know it was.
I had no idea. Well, I started getting an inkling. In 4th grade, I was being called a bagel, and I'm like, how do these kids have this dialect?
I would just call you that because you probably had bagel crumbs like on you, but like it was just
that
like
might
bread,
have been it.
Not because you're Jewish.
Oh no, you changed my whole life. Oh no,
I would have called you Bagel Bite because you were little.
Love bagel bites.
No, but yeah, bagel.
No, so
you just go, what is that?
And I'm like, what is that? And then I'd go over to my friend Scott's house, and I'd look in his and his parents had like Mein Kampf books.
No, they did not.
And like every edition, we like scratch and sniff.
Oh,
Mein Kampf, like all the Mein Kampfs.
Like baby's first Mein Kampf, and it's like you touch it, and you can feel Hitler's mustache, and it's like there's like a little patch of. Felt.
And that's when I knew I had autonomy over my own brain. When I knew when you could rub Hitler's mustache and pat your
Dude, that's really
no.
Every time you talk about the anti-Semitism you endured, it's so heartbreaking. And you know, whether it's you're Jewish or fat or short or something, like, kids will find a way to.
Yeah, I was short and Jewish, and then it was like I had to be
and stupid.
The one thing and dumb, dumb Jew. No, shut up, John.
And you had a speech impediment, kind of. You were going to special classes.
Okay, look, I didn't even think of all these things.
Well, I can keep going if you want.
You could stop.
Your brother was rich.
All right, get me off the bus.
Not yet.
Get me off the bus. I feel like I'm back on the bus.
I would have been friends with you.
My brother really beat up this kid one time. Did I ever tell you this story? It's the craziest story ever. I got beat up on the bus. Not that bad, but this kid's Victor Brancaccio. And he was like the kind of...
sounds like a type of throat cancer.
Yeah, it was bad.
He's got Brancaccio?
Yeah, it was terminal 6.
Oh my God, dude. Yeah, terminal 6.
Yeah, it was bad.
You mean stage 6, which would be terminal?
No.
No, it's an airport. It's Delta's...
Yeah, you go to this. You go to C14. You'll see Victor Brancaccio there,
okay.
and he kind of beat me up a little bit, and then he got off the bus, and then my brother threw him down and like defended my honor.
Ooh, have you ever talked about it?
Yeah, like it was a cool moment where I was like, my brother's got my back.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, and then he gave me a job, and then that backfired, and then you know, it went south.
Let's get to the news.
Do you want to hear the story real quick?
Oh, I thought that was then.
Oh, no. So Victor Brancaccio ended up killing a woman. And then... So I got beat up by a murderer.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. And then they won the lottery, his family, after he went to jail for... He killed her. He beat her to death with a boombox.
Oh, my God.
And then lit her on fire and then spray painted her. And then got caught red-handed because he used red spray paint.
Get out of here.
I swear to God, this is all true.
And you know what? He probably showed up with a boombox at her house, and she was like, "That's so romantic." It's like it's like the John Cusack movie, and then that is. Honestly, I'm not making fun. That's the most tragic thing.
So
I'm
what
really
happened was
so sad for that woman.
They were in a park, and he was playing rap music with.
Oh, you did tell me this. This is horrible.
Yeah. He was playing rap music with like NWA or something. She's like, "Don't play that music with curse words," and he's like, "Well, now you're."
And he just beat up this woman who was just.
Yeah.
So.
Anyhow,
boy,
but yeah,
really
he's still
sad.
in jail.
And you can only imagine what happened to him as a child, I'm guessing.
Yeah, he got beat up by my brother.
It's your brother's fault.
Yeah, it all leads back to Dan at the end of the day.
Let's get to the news. Boy, that's not the most depressing story.
You heard it here first. Yeah, you heard it here first.
Oh, man. I hope you're having all the swells out there. It is Tuesday, I believe. Who knows, really?
It's Tuesday.
First story is a
know.
solid one. Grammar experts say these words can make you sound smarter, but most people use them the wrong way. There's 26 of them.
Supposedly. And they say supposedly.
Alternatively versus
alternately.
Alternately.
I think it's alternatively is probably the
What did
right
I say?
One. But is the right one alternatively?
Okay, alternatively refers to one or more choices or possibilities. Alternately refers to two or more things happening after each other.
Oh, alternate. Like they alternate. We're gonna go. We're gonna answer these questions and alternately, and so it's like one, then the next, then the next. Okay, interesting.
Definitive versus definite.
Definitive versus definite. I mean, definitive statement. I would say they're the same, but what's the difference?
Writing definitive instead of definite, as in the CFO has set a definitive time for the meeting, is a common substitution that doesn't work at all. The writer meant to say that the CFO set an exact definite time.
Oh, okay. So those two things are not different. But what does definitive mean?
Definitive means authoritative, decisive, most reliable. So
definitive. It's like the way you say something. Yeah. It's like okay. Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of people have fucked that up.
So a time can't be definitive, but a person can be definitive.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Yesterday, I was watching The Bachelor. This is perfect. Bachelor in Paradise. I had to binge. Each episode is 2 hours. I had to get through 5 episodes. I only watched one because I'm doing a Will You Accept This Rose?
Why don't you do it on 2.0 speed?
Because you can't on Hulu for some reason and on the TV. So I'm just reading recaps, but they use... we witnessed this on F-Boy Island when they cut around it. These guys, people so confidently use turns of phrase that... this one guy goes, you know what? Thomas is probably on that date and he's acting all cool and he's putting aside the BS. He's probably, she's going to come back here and she's going to like him. Skin over her eyes. She's not going to know. And I go, skin over her eyes. What is that? And I go, I think he meant he's going to pull the wool over her eyes, but he didn't say pull the skin over her eyes. He said skin over her eyes. So even if he said wool over her eyes, it would have been kind of incorrect, but we could have gotten there.
Yeah.
But he said skin over her eyes, like it was just like, and everyone goes, yeah, man, skin over, like they were all just like, yeah. And I Googled it to see if it was like a new one. Yeah. So I did skin over eyes expression. That's how you Google something. Because at first I go skin over her eyes and it's like nothing. Skin over eyes expression. And it's just how to like squeeze your eyelids, like to express a cyst in your eyelids. Like there's no, that's not a phrase. And this guy, and another guy kept going.
But it's confidence.
He goes,
irregardless?
No, he goes, what's the word? It was like it's on my story, but it's supposed to say regardless. He goes, regardless that you did this, regardless that you did this. It's regardless of the fact that you did this. It's regardless of.
Oh, he took out some words.
You can't just say regardless that.
I would have been tricked on that one, I think.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of these are just like it's me being a stickler, and I realized I was being a little bit like elitist. Like these people are so dumb, but like, and I say dumb stuff. I said take it for granted.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I did that. And that's one where I was trying to do the right one because I know there's 2. And my dad always would make the joke about granite, like the tabletop and then granted. Yes. And I just chose the wrong one.
Got
and
you.
It's not that I didn't know if I would have thought, but these people don't even know, I think.
Well, they always say
and
it.
I'm making excuses.
Look, at the end of the day.
At the end of the day was another one. Okay, let's keep going. What's our word?
Ingenuous. I love that I can't pronounce any of these words.
Ingenuous. Disingenuous?
No, ingenuous versus ingenu. I don't know.
Ingenue?
Ingenious, maybe. I think. No?
Ingenious.
Oh, no, that's not genius.
Let me see it. Okay. What did you do here? Oh, okay.
Ingenious?
Ingenious versus ingenious.
No.
Ingenuous versus ingenious. Ingenuous means simplicity or childlike innocence. Ingenuous, INGENUOUS. And then ingenious, INGENIOUS, means clever or resourceful. I've never heard of ingenuous.
No, I've never seen that word.
But if someone did say that was ingenuous, I would be like, oh yeah, no, ingenuous. That's ingenuous. I didn't know that. Can I do the other ones?
Yeah,
now that I have your phone?
Yeah, of course.
Historical and historic. Historical means based in history. So anything that happened in the past is historical. Historic means significant, famous, or important.
Oh.
So a historic landmark is also historical because it happened in the past, but a historical thing is not necessarily historic.
I don't like historic because it's a little braggy. It's like, yeah, look at me. I'm a landmark that was important. It's like, you just were from history. Let's not brag here.
Sometimes I think about things in history where it's like, this was Daniel Boone's boyhood home or something.
Yeah.
And I'm like, or it was like, this was where Gettysburg happened. And first of all, the grasses and the dirt are totally different now. So like the air is different because the earth moves and there's wind. So really nothing about this place is actually the same. Do you know what I mean? When it's just like a field. I understand like a cabin or like the chair that Abraham Lincoln was assassinated, or the bed that he died in, and you can see the stain. Like those things are like tangible. But when it's like a field or like
yeah, I was in high school and we did like we were on the field where one of the battles of the Civil War was, and we played football on it, and we were like
the ghosts.
Oh, we're playing where they died.
I mean, it is cool to see a field and just be like, but if you really think about it, nothing about that is the same.
Yeah, I mean the grass is definitely nicer. The bodies are gone, hopefully.
Yeah, but the dirt, I would say, like, if we're talking 1800s, the dirt is re-energized and, like, been, eroded and washed away. So the only thing that was probably the same is, like, the inner core of the earth, which at that point you can just say everything you're standing on is historic. Okay. Or historical. Okay.
Yeah, everything's historical, not
Next
historic.
Story. The other ones were okay, but...
All right. Jeff Bezos is reportedly funding Altos Labs, a biological reprogramming tech company, for a new anti-aging venture aiming to cheat death.
Yeah, I mean, they'll figure it out. If anyone will, he will.
I wonder if... So Bezos is said to have a fairly long-standing interest in longevity research, and he previously invested in an anti-aging company.
But you know what? When everyone looks young and, like, hot... Guess who's going to be like the cool people? The ones that the ones that are like aging. It's always what's different or what's harder to achieve is the thing that everyone desires to be. I think that's it. And let me just say, if we really think about it, old age is the hardest to achieve because you have to live. So why don't we respect wrinkles and like age spots? Like that should be the mark of like you lived, like you endured, like you had to
I think some cultures do. I mean, the Asian culture is known for like really respecting their elders and like, and you like whatever they say because they experienced it.
And
it goes a long way.
They live with their parents forever, not because out of necessity, but because like it's your job now to like pay your respects to those. Yeah, I mean,
in America,
I gotta
we
move to China.
Put them in a home, get them away from us.
Yeah, we don't want to be reminded that we're gonna die. So like, let's keep it separate.
Yeah,
and death is. I was reading all about it. It's just we keep it so far away from us because we're all so scared of it. We don't want to be reminded of it, but it's something that every other part of nature. Like has to see it. They don't really send it away.
Well, if you could take a pill right now that will have you slow down your aging by let's say
Where's it at? I try to buy those pills every day. I'm taking those pills. Like I buy these pills that have like new True Energy XS.
Yeah, how many pills are you taking a day for that
Man, I do 2 for my hair that some hair person said to take, and I don't think it's working. My hair's been really thin this week, but I think it's because I'm on my period. I take an iron. I take a B12 because I'm a vegan. I take a couple meds for my mental health, and I take a what else? Nutrafol I was doing for a while. That's like 4 a day. It's a lot, but like my friend owns the company, it really works. And
this just shows how our differences.
Can you imagine?
I take Zoloft and eat two vitamin gummies.
Well, some days, I mean, and also if
and
we
I'm
talk
in it
about
for the gummies.
If I talk about our skin regimen, I might like just start crying.
Oh my God, women!
I never did that joke where I was like, I have a male roommate. Before bed, I have to go through a 19-step regimen, and he doesn't even take 19 steps to fall into his bed.
Yeah.
It was something like that. It is true. Like, men don't do anything to their faces, and we go, God, you're so hot. Like that. Like, I love when a guy has like those like crow's feet, or when he starts to have like gray like in his beard. Like, if you're attracted to a guy, that starts to look so hot. And I want to say that men, when they really are attracted to a woman, they like that stuff too. They don't care if you start to age, because it's, if you like a woman only because she's hot, sorry, buddy, you're gonna fall out.
But to all guys out, Brenna is like really big into skincare and taking me through a facial. She did like.
Is that why she looks 12?
Well, no, she is 12.
No, she's 25.
25.
But she looks 20. She
probably looks 23, 22.
But what does that even mean anymore when people say you look this? Because everyone.
But my point being though is she'll do like five steps. The wash, the serum, the mask, or serum's after the mask, whatever, 4 or 5 steps. And I swear to God, after one treatment, I do feel like my skin looks literally one. I feel like I look like, like every guy's just 1 5-step thing away from like seeing their skin again.
But
it happens that quick. I feel like
why
maybe
don't you do it every day then? Well, it takes, and women don't do it every day. I mean, my mom has aged really, really well, and she smoked for years, drank for years, doesn't work out, loves ham dips, and this bitch, she loves a discount ham
Bezos,
dip.
you listening? What if,
if you could flip ham dips that are 2 days expired based on when Schnook said they shouldn't be sold. But my mom uses Pond's cream, and barely doesn't wash her face at night.
So what does that tell you
makeup.
Then? That maybe girls are doing too many?
Yeah, and ever since I made my regimen really simple, which is like I wash my face with whatever facial cleanser. Sometimes I feel like I need more of like a creamy one because my face is dry. Sometimes I feel like I need more of an acne one because my face is oily. Just any cleanser. And then I put on that ordinary plant squalane stuff that I talked about that's $8. And then I put on either an SPF, like a Ilia SPF like CC cream.
Yeah.
And that's all I wear during the day. And then instead of the CC cream at night, I just put on like a thick night cream, which can be a Neutrogena hyaluronic thing. Like I just do 3 steps, and it's not even, washing my face takes 2 seconds. You're supposed to like massage gently. I'm just like, rah! And you're supposed to like blot dry gently with a clean towel. I use like one that I wiped my puss with because I ran out of toilet paper. Like, I'm gross. And
you can't just glide over that.
No, I sometimes I run out of toilet paper and I don't want to just have it drip drop in my pants, so I just use a towel. But I don't reuse that towel. That was an exaggeration. I really don't. I would never do that. But would I have done it in the past when I was depressed and going through a bad time? 100%.
You used a ham drip from your pussy. Your pussy's ham. Anyway, go back. Wait, let's not pause.
I just want a moment of silence.
No, keep the flow going.
Keep callback fail.
Keep the flow going. Hey,
wait, let's do it.
I'm 88%.
Here's a sound effect for a callback fail. Callback fail.
Hey, come on, yes, and.
You're right. I lost. I dropped you on that one.
No. But wait. What were we talking about? Oh. If guys had to take off makeup every night before bed. Mm-hmm. There just wouldn't be a makeup anymore.
Yeah, you would have terrible skin. And you guys,
we'd wake up, our pillows would be done. Like, we'd figure out a way for all makeup.
Some men are really fastidious about that kind of stuff. But Noah, do you ever sleep with your makeup on?
No, because I have large pores, and it's just not worth what will happen to me in the morning.
What will happen? What happens when you?
Well, it's dirt. Makeup is dirt, and like it's not, and it's like chemicals, and it's not good already to put on your skin, and through the night it just rubs into your pores more, and like just creates bacteria, and then zits and dryness.
Does your mom wear a lot of makeup?
Yeah. I mean, no. Actually, she doesn't wear.
That's what I'm saying.
She doesn't wear like
maybe
hardly
that's
any.
Maybe we're doing all these 5 steps because we're wearing so much makeup.
But my mom, my mom doesn't wear makeup, and that always boggles my mind because it looks so good. She can look so much better with a little bit of makeup, and she's a beautiful woman, but she can look really stunning.
But then her skin might look better.
Like, we were going through old pictures of in my phone the other day. I was showing Andrew like all these pictures I took from photo albums, and one he was like, "Wow, your mom's gorgeous." Another one he'd be like, whoa, your mom's pretty. They were all pictures where she had her makeup done. All of them, like back in the 80s. And I knew that, but like, and then you'd be like, is that your mom? And it was like a picture with her without makeup. She looked beautiful, but guys can't say that makeup doesn't trick ya. And I know that lots of makeup sometimes is too much, but yeah, you guys like it. And you guys would look better with it. God, Emil's eyelashes last week. I was getting my makeup done and I was just like, Emil, can I please put mascara on those sweet, luscious lashes? And he goes, you've done it before. And I was like, I was going to say, we've been friends too long for me to let those eyelashes just go without me painting them. Because some boys, you're just like, oh,
yeah, boys that look like girls, like that's when it works. Like a rocker.
You hear that, Emil?
A rocker can do eyeliner. If I do eyeliner, I just look like a truck driver that fell in mud on his eyes. It doesn't work. It doesn't.
Sometimes you say the funniest. Like, I'm really envious of your ability to pull a thing that like a truck driver that fell out in mud is so funny. And like, I would have to think all afternoon to write something like that. Whereas
you don't give yourself credit with those things. You're very quick.
I'm really bad on
like those kind of like weird outside.
It seems quick, but I'm thinking about it before. Is what I'm saying. I know what I'm going to say before the end of the sentence most of the time. Sometimes I get lucky, but a lot of times I just can't. You'll hear it on the podcast. I'm not good in that moment because I get to the part where I go, man, if I wore makeup, I'd look like a, and then when I say I'd look like a, in that moment, I'm thinking, Nikki, you never can come up with a good one here. And I start freaking out because I tell myself, you're not as funny as you think you are. You're not Colin Mockery or Wayne Brady. Don't do improv. And then that thinking makes me panic. Negative. And then I can't, and then I just go, Nikki, just pull anything, literally any word. Yes. Sometimes there's, sometimes,
When you think of Isaac Newton, you probably think about apples, gravity, and his famous laws of motion. On the podcast Newton's Law, you'll hear a different side of the father of physics. A man who later became England's most ruthless lawman, who wielded the power to send criminals to the gallows.
So who was this ruthless detective? This hard-bitten crook catcher totally unmoved by the pleas of a desperate man? It was Isaac Newton. Yes, that Isaac Newton.
You'll also meet the Moriarty-like crime kingpin who evaded Isaac Newton at every step.
William Challoner was a con man who at one time had been the most successful counterfeit coin maker London had ever seen. But now, he was awaiting execution at Newgate Jail.
It's a fascinating look at the little-known life of one of history's most famous men. Listen to Newton's Law on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
The stories that are affecting the Black community are being covered on the Black Information Network. Not a show or a podcast, BIN is a 24/7 news network covering stories from a Black perspective. Listen to the Black Information Network on the iHeartRadio app and get news for and by the Black community. Anywhere, anytime. Keeping you informed, keeping you engaged. The Black Information Network and BINnews.com.
You know the final score. Now listen to the NFL podcast that tells you why it happened. Starting September 14th, Dan Orlovsky, Scott Pioli, and me, Bob Wischusen, are tape heads, going inside the coaching tape and giving fans the answers.
Don't talk to me about quarterbacks and say they can make all the throws. Make the right one at the right time. That's something that he does really well.
Regardless of what the hierarchy is, folks in the personnel department, including the general manager, need to be servants to the head coach.
Well, here's the question I want to ask. Why do you all lie to us and tell us that these rookies aren't going to play?
Do they have a skill or trait that is going to allow them to survive?
Bob's going to bring me back to my good years at the Jets.
Yeah. Were there some?
Heck yeah. Come on, AFC Championship.
I also believe this closes the gap between them and, those other top-tier teams.
Listen to Tapeheads, premiering September 14th on the iHeartRadio app, on Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
I remember John Mulaney had a bit about drag queens and how they're like the worst version of a woman. And he's like, if your version of a woman is like a bitch. He's like, it is mean and bullying. Your version of a woman is a lot like a man. Because he'd be like, my name's Strawberry Alarm Clock. And like for me to come up with Strawberry Alarm Clock, like I couldn't do that. Like I would be like, like right now, I have any word at my disposal.
You could do blueberry, whatever.
Right, anything. Exactly. Well, we just learned that.
No, I tricked you.
Oh, dude.
That was the trick. I didn't get it.
Well, let's go to break so I can come up with a joke, and then we'll get back to why do I care.
I think it's not being afraid. Like, me saying ham drip, terrible joke.
Not being afraid of
hearing
I'm too scared of I'm too scared of bombing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm working on that. But that was an interesting
No
moment.
fear.
No fear. Let's take a quick break and then we'll get back with Why Do I Care? Okay, why do I care?
Why do you care? I don't know anymore.
Why do I care?
Megan Fox and Massage Gun Kelly.
Oh my God, Massage Gun Kelly, you sent me a meme of his face on one of those Theraguns.
But by the way, a lot of these things I send you are through like Nikki Glaser like
people sending them to us.
Yeah, like the video this morning. I didn't just come across that. Someone goes, "This reminds me of Nikki and Andrew."
Oh well, thank you so much to our fans who alert us to things that we would enjoy like that because we miss a lot of them. Massage Gun Kelly was hilarious. Can I get this story? Can I take it?
Oh yeah.
Because I actually had a moment.
Yeah.
So yesterday on Comments by Celebs, which is an account I follow where they kind of document. They're really like a loving celebrity gossip site that doesn't really get catty a lot of times. Yes, they like to speculate and gossip, but it's not like Deux Moi, which Deux Moi is just all people. They're all blind items, which is like someone who's not being accountable, not being like, hi, my name is Mary Stevenson from, Baxter, Minnesota. And I witnessed Channing Tatum and Zoe Kravitz on a bike ride because I was following them. Like, it's all people that are like, I was at dinner. There was one the other night that was like, or the other, like 2 Sundays ago, every Sunday on their Instagram story, they do like a drop of like all these people DMing Deux Moi, and they're all people that just witness celebrities in the wild or personal friends of celebrities ratting them out, but it's all anonymous. So it's just kind of like, is it true? But you just assume it is because it's so detailed sometimes. One had a picture of Kourtney Kardashian. A lot of them come with pictures that were like, I was at this nail salon and I saw Kourtney Kardashian and she seemed happy and she was with Penelope, blah, blah, blah. And it said she was texting someone about a party tomorrow night. It was like this girl read her screen.
Oh, yeah.
Or it was like her listening to a call and I was like.
And wait, so when do they have to write into Deux Moi? Or
yeah,
they
write in. They submit it via DMs or she has like a submission site and or a website where you can anonymously.
Kind of smart. It's like Wikipedia for like celebrity. Like they don't have to pay anyone.
I'm sure a lot of people have tried to start these before, but this one it takes a while to get people. Like it has over 1 million followers now, and it was a slow build. But
yeah.
I love it, but it's just so. And then on the subreddit for Deux Moi, it's all these celebrity people that love celebrities, and I'm one of them. By the way, I just want to say I'm you. I am obsessed with celebrity culture. I have strong opinions about people I know nothing about, truly nothing about. These people don't even have podcasts like I do where they tell you a lot. They have reality shows maybe, but those reality shows you can't take those seriously and really think that that's the real them. And even my podcast, you have to have some sort of like, you have to realize you don't know everything about me, even though it seems like sometimes I give it all away. But I'm one of you. If I'm talking to one of you, these people in the Deux Moi subreddit, sometimes it'll be like, what celebrity do you hate more than any celebrity? What one that can you not watch in anything? And I just read these comments and they're like, I just hate Ryan Reynolds. I hate, and I'm just like, who are these people that have such hatred? I understand hating Chris Brown for what he did to Rihanna based on actual police reports. I understand hating, Woody Allen based on what Ronan Farrow has uncovered and said Dylan Farrow said he had done to her. And so, like, I understand that, but like hating someone because I just think she thinks she's cool. I've never liked Jennifer Lawrence in anything because I just think she always looks like 12 when she's trying to be 28. And it's just like, and these people have such disdain. And for me, it's so transparent that they hate themselves and they're jealous and they would do anything to be these people. And then yesterday on Comments by Celebs, I saw an egregious example of this. Comments by Celebs posted a picture that Machine Gun Kelly, I guess, had posted. Is that correct, Noah?
No, Megan Fox posted.
Okay, Megan Fox posted it.
Said a lot of things happen on this table.
Megan Fox posted a picture of her and Machine Gun Kelly, or her standing in front of a table in an Airbnb. She said, when I tell you that the table at this Airbnb saw some things, and then a sweating, like red face sweating emoji. And then Machine Gun Kelly commented, I'm really glad that's not our table anymore. Only to assume that they did amazingly sexual, filthy things on the table. Yes. I love it. Or they just like cooked a meal with a lot of tuna. Or something gross, eggs, salad, ham. Maybe they're making my mom a dip.
Yeah, they just put the dip like a Cold Stone right on the table.
Callback bomb. And then, so all these people in the comments are like, They know they can just text this stuff to each other, right? When your relationship has no depth, so you have to compensate on social media. Imagine being the Airbnb owner and coming across this. That one was good. Some things should just stay private for a reason. Cringe. So edgy. I just hope no one took a dump on anyone on that table. And then it's like, this is too much, y'all. His daughter is on the gram. Dear God, please deliver us from Megan Fox and Machine Gun Kelly once and for all. So all these people are just like, ew, too much. So I wrote, I think I'm the only one who liked this. I think it's hot when couples flirt publicly in comments, but maybe that's just me. And that's true. Especially these two. They're hot. I like to hear about sexual escapades that they're having. Yeah. And yes, I said, and yes, they could have texted this to each other and kept it private, but aren't details about celebs' private lives what we crave as a celeb-obsessed culture in the first place? It's funny that when they offer it to us like this, we're like, no, gross, TMI. We wanted this info, but we would have preferred to get it without your consent via deux mois after you were seated next to someone at a restaurant who eavesdropped on your private convo. And I don't even read the comments that got, so comments by celebs, they're fans of mine, and so they pinned it because it's a good fucking point, and they actually support being celebratory of celebrities, not mean.
Yes.
And they pinned the comment, so it has like 4,000 and something likes. And I'm so glad it does because there's no arguing that. Like, I don't even want to read the comments. There's no arguing that these people that follow comments by celebs love celebrities, love celeb goss. That's what we buy Us Weekly for, is stuff that we're not allowed to know. But when they give it to us, we go, we don't want it. We want it in a way that that is intruding into your life.
My only,
and I get it.
My only counter to that is how many likes did Megan Fox's post get? Like, they get enough love where it should drown out the hatred.
I know, but I'm just saying
But I get what you're saying.
This account has culminated in not Megan Fox fans. These are celebrity fans. Fans of celeb culture. And so for so many people on this to hate on them. Yeah. And by the way, if this was a gay couple, like two gay guys, everyone would be like, that's so saucy. Like, they are so jealous of these two, as am I. So jealous of Machine Gun Kelly and Megan Fox's passionate relationship that will burn out eventually.
Women could get mad at like other women who had kids, got divorced, and then are like living their best life. They're like, but I'm stuck with my 4 kids still making pancakes every morning. I wanna fuck a Machine Gun Kelly. Like, I think there's madness there. If you're someone
who comments on celebrities in a negative way, you're just so sad. And I used to do it too. And I still talk about people behind their backs, like with my friends, like celebrities, and be like, ew, I hated what she wore. Look at this post from blah blah. Like, we all made fun of Britney Spears until it was a mental health issue.
Well, there's something to you commenting on commenters that is in the same. It's not in the.
But I don't even want to read it. I know that I got so much hate in there because I was calling these women out.
Yes.
They're all women. I mean, there's some gay men in there too, but it's mostly women. And I know that they hate it because people don't like when you hold up a mirror and it's inarguable that
and you see
you're
that
right.
ham drip.
You see that ham drip. Let's get to Reddit dump.
Karaoke mode.
This is your Reddit dump. Here we go. This one was so fun. It's from the Reddit subreddit Made Me Smile. Did you see this? It was a TikTok. It went around so much. It was this mom that said, tried to embarrass my child. Total fail. So it's a mom who pulls up to pick up her kid from like soccer practice. This guy looks to be about in 6th grade, and all of his guy friends are standing like in the shade by the tree after soccer practice or whatever. She pulls up, she has her windows down, and she's blasting, I'm a Barbie girl in a bar. And the kid comes over and he starts dancing to it, kind of like trying to get his friend's attention. Like, yeah. He's not even like trying to, he's just like enjoying it. And then what happens in the background is so funny. All of the kids just start like, it's almost like they're tranced to dance. They're not even trying to dance to be weird. They're just enjoying the song.
Oh, backfired good.
That not only were they not, I could say they were conceived of the song, but their parents aren't even old enough to know the song. I mean, I'm a Barbie Girl was a hit in 1998, 97, I want to say. And these kids' parents are like younger than me. But like, look at this, Andrew. Watch this and enjoy it. So just press replay. And we'll post this on our Instagram story by the time this... So the kid opens the door. Look at all the kids in the background. Like all these.
I do love that. That kid is probably cool too to begin with, I bet.
Yes. Let's be honest. Like, this mother was not trying to further bully her son who's coming home crying, being like, I don't have any friends.
You know what that story reminds me of?
What?
When my brother tried to get me with sour cream, saying it was ice cream, and then I ate the sour cream
gladly,
and asked for seconds and showed him I was like, this is the best ice cream I've ever had. A whole bowl of sour cream. Anyway.
Oh, that's so funny. Like, it backfires. And by the way, parents trying to embarrass your kids, what are you doing? Why would you try to make the childhood experience of being just feeling like just such a loser constantly and out of place? Why
Dads
would you want to exacerbate
Dads do it because they love it's about their attention. They're narcissists.
Grow up. And I was thinking about even the Jimmy Kimmel challenge that was like, tell your kids that you ate all their Halloween candy. Have you ever seen that?
So mean.
There's so much trauma from Jimmy Kimmel based on these 4-year-olds, even for 30 seconds thinking their parents ate all their candy. The level of... Like, these kids just go, what?
Distrust.
What? And they cry, and even when the parent's like, I'm just kidding, it's the damage is done.
I mean, that's on the same level.
Fired,
and saying Santa's not real. It's almost the same thing.
It is. And honestly, I think that the Santa thing fucked me up so bad in terms of trust with my parents that it just led to never trusting them again about anything. Because I once I knew he wasn't real from friends at school and confronted my dad, I'll never forget being like, Dad, Lauren wasn't even in the room because I wanted it to be like just between us. And I'd be like, I even said, I'll keep the gimmick going for her. I need to know, is Santa real? And his foot was shaking so violently. It looked exactly like my foot because we have the same feet. His bunion was just
it's gross.
The Richter scale, it was a 6.7. And I looked at his foot and I remember in his dumb Tiva, and I remember being like, and he kind of smiled like, and he paused and he just goes, he's real. And I was just like,
whoa,
you're lying. I knew he was lying because I knew Santa wasn't real because everyone at school had told me
would
their
your
parents.
Dad dress as Santa and put you on his knee?
But they would, no.
Babe.
Because that's for me and my dad. My dad would never fake that with someone else. That would be cheating on my dad with Santa. I saw Nikki getting bounced on Santa's knee underneath. That song is about a kid witnessing his mom cheating on his dad with a mystical man who delivers presents.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And then ran over by a reindeer, too.
Next. Not even a callback, Mom. The next,
damn drip.
The next subreddit is Ask Reddit, one of my favorites. Guys, I'm not even kidding you. If you can't sleep at night, go on Reddit and just go to Ask Reddit and read people's responses to these interesting questions. My favorite subreddit is Ask Reddit. This said, tattoo artists of Reddit. What is the most fucked up thing you've ever tattooed? This one said, I knew a guy who lost some bet with another group of friends, and he had to get a tattoo of Scrat from Ice Age on his inner thigh, reaching for his nuts. I mean, that's hilarious. This one, what were you going to say?
No. Yeah, I mean, that's on you forever. One kid got a steaming toilet bowl on his ass in college. That was pretty funny.
Oh, wow. A steaming toilet bowl. Why?
Just he thought it was funny.
It doesn't make any sense.
It's next to your asshole.
My friend got your name tattooed on his ass in senior year, which was, I have your name tattooed on my ass. And people go, no, and it's your name. And it's why
I got him laid a few times, I bet.
Maybe, yeah. One guy said one girl was an aspiring porn star, and my friend tattooed her butthole to make it more appealing pink color.
Oh.
All right. A guy wanted the thumbs up emoji on his taint. Apparently, he wanted everyone down there to know he appreciates a job well done.
Wow, he's hairless.
He could just say good job, And a woman, you're so like. Also, you don't see a man's taint when you're blowing him, so it would be better if it was like above his dick.
Yeah, who has a hairless taint?
Yeah.
Weird.
There's one. This one was. I saw some weird. This is interesting. This guy saw weird, fucked up tattoos because he worked as a EMT, like in a hospital where they'd cut off people's clothing. Last second. Saw a guy with a genie coming out of his butthole up to the small of his back, peeking out over his seat of his pants. I imagine. Saw another guy, sweet-looking, grandfatherly type, had what looked like a home done / prison tattoo on his penis that said "suck it." Saw a woman with the Rolling Stones lips tongue thing inside of her armpit. Must have hurt like hell. And then saw a guy with an 8-ball on his dickhead. He said it was a thing from his days in the Marines. Apparently there's a tattoo place near Camp Lejeune that will give you free tattoos for life if you can get an 8-ball on your dickhead. Oh, so you get that and then...
I love the idea this guy doesn't have any other tattoos. He's just like, nah, I'm just in it for the 8-ball on my dick.
Oh yeah, he's like, so I can get 8 balls on my dick forever? Had a guy get a tattoo.
Just more 8 balls.
This one is a tattoo artist. Had a guy getting a tattoo of his wife fingering her own ass while she sat and watched me tattoo it on him. Interesting experience trying to get the shading on her labia just right while she was peering over my shoulder.
Oh my god.
Noah, we have 1 minute left. Is that what I'm guessing? Okay. This one was great. this said dating. This is from the subreddit dating advice, dating_advice. Males in a relationship. Why do you guys follow / like Instagram models when you're in a relationship? Generally curious why some males do this. Someone said, I don't do it when I'm single, so I wouldn't in a relationship. Okay, that's not interesting. Cool, we get it. You're such a good guy. This is from a girl. Hi, new perspective. I'm not an Instagram model, but I am a minor fitness influencer. So I've got a larger than most following. The number of messages I get from men in relationships is astounding. For me personally, it's good to have followers and people that engage / follow my content or buy my workout plans. However, if you've got a man, for instance, and he doesn't work out and I'm not his personal trainer, why is he liking following messaging? I think it's reasonable if your man is into fitness, but blah, blah. So then another person said, we haven't still gotten any guy. I found a good guy whom I wanted to start a relationship with, but unfortunately ended up crossing him off the list because of this. He literally followed over 1,000 model accounts on IG, and a couple accounts would have been cool, but that guy's number was way too much for me. Someone said, I stopped it as soon as I got into a relationship because I felt like looking at other women and getting off to that whilst being in a relationship felt like cheating, and my girlfriend thinks like that too. So it depends on each person. Let's go into final thought on this one because I have a lot of thoughts.
Yeah, I just think it's funny that the guy that follows 1,000, he's like, it was over 4 years. That's one girl a day.
Really like fitness.
But it's like one girl, it's one follow every few days. You know what I mean? Like him, like trying to be like. It's
and
not,
what is porn? That's just curated porn. Like if you get off to women that aren't, I mean, Instagram also has it so they're not explicit images. So what's the difference between a guy curating the kind of like women he likes to look at that are not doing explicit things and having that to jerk off to when you're not around?
Because it feels more personal than
because you could DM them.
Because you could DM them, they could follow you back. There's just Instagram feels, out of all the social medias too, it's like the one that feels more of a human connection, I feel like.
I don't know. I'm so turned on by the idea. If I found out a guy I was following a bunch of accounts, like I would
that look like you?
No, I would just be like, wait, can we look at it together and you like tell me what you're into? And like, I don't know. It would just like horn me up. I don't
think
know what
anything
it is.
before, I think after you have made it official could be. I'm just saying though, like I think that's when a woman would draw the line.
I think this is another case of like, do you, like especially when that guy was like, she would consider it cheating. Why?
Yeah.
Because do you really
what do you want him to set up a fake account to follow him?
No, that's so
way
much
worse.
weirder
Yeah,
because then you're
worse.
hiding stuff. I just think that like, I don't know. I don't want my man to be closed off to thinking women are attractive.
I'm sorry though, if you're also like a fitness model and you're like pretty much showing your ham drip,
yeah,
like
that's what I call my labia.
You can't be like, I want this 10% of like horny men. It's like
you're profiting from.
You're profiting from it. Like let's not like your ham drips out.
If it was 1,000 accounts, I'd be like, this is kind of weird. But if a guy just had an account where like his whole feed was just women he thought were hot and like stuff that he liked to look at when he was about to jerk off, and by the way, I feel like if I'm in a relationship that I'm getting the sex I want, a guy's not really going to have much time to jerk off. And even if, let's say, our relationship kind of enters a sexual slump and he starts masturbating again, I don't want him to just, if he could only think about times we've been together or like only use pictures I've sent him, that would be like, I would feel like sad for him because I wouldn't want that as a woman.
Yeah, you don't want him jerking off like a scared deer either, where it's like my mom, when she wouldn't be allowed to smoke cigarettes in front of us, so she'd have to like hide the cigarette or smoke. You don't want your guy having to like hide underneath a carpet to jerk off with fear of being found.
That's the thing that I've been I've been reading the book The Answers from Pat Allen, the woman who wrote the Getting to I Do book about relationships and masculine and feminine energy, has this other book that's kind of consolidated all of her like biggest like messages, and I sped through it because it has so much good stuff. And the thing that I really got from it that I am probably going to reference a million times the rest of my life and on this podcast is you have 3 options when you're faced with a behavior in a relationship that you're not okay with.
Okay.
And I'm not telling people out there to be okay with your guy liking Instagram models if that doesn't feel good to you. Like, you're allowed to have that not feel good to you, and you're entitled to that feeling because you can't even help that feeling, and you don't need to get over it. But what you do need to do is accept it, reject it. And those are your only 2 options. You do have a third. And what's the third, Noah?
Don't tolerate it. It's accept,
tolerate
reject, but don't
it.
tolerate it.
There's accepting, rejecting, and tolerating. No, tolerating is in between those 2.
Oh.
So let's say, for instance, we're dating, and I find that you're following a lot of Instagram thoughts. And I go, and I don't like it. It doesn't make me feel safe. I would say to you, Andrew, I know that you probably don't follow these accounts with any intention of cheating on me, and it's probably just something you had used to jerk off before we were together, and now we're together, and it doesn't make me feel safe because I've been cheated on in the past, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
These are my feelings. I just don't feel like you should have that. And if you say, I really like those accounts, and you still want to look at them, you either have to decide to accept my stance, reject it.
Me accept it, or
yeah,
you
we
accept
both.
it?
We both.
Oh, okay.
But let's start with you. You either have to accept what I've said, which is okay. I'll stop following them because sorry. Yes, accepting would be I accept that Nikki has feelings about this that don't match mine, but I accept her for the thing that is different. I think she's wrong because she is.
Yeah.
It's not a threat to our relationship. I know it isn't. Even though she's wrong, I accept that she's wrong, and I will totally honor that, and I will stop following those accounts. And I'm not going to sneak around about it because that's tolerating. Tolerating would be, okay, I'm going to tolerate her aggression and pacify her and then do what I want anyway. And also, even if you don't do what you want anyway, if you have resentments of like, oh, I really want to keep following those, but she's telling, that's tolerating. When a lot of times you and I get into arguments and I tolerate your behavior rather than accept you for what you do and don't do or reject it, which is, okay, if you continue, rejecting you or rejecting me in this made-up scenario would be, I like following those accounts and I'm not going to stop. And so I don't think we can work because that's something that, I don't see myself being able to not do. And it's part of who I am. I'm attracted to other women. I think it's a micro, this is like a small indication of things down the road that will come of jealousy. And I don't like that. So I think we should call it quits. But then I can either accept you and say, okay, I accept that you like watching these Instagram models. I have to really accept it and do the work on it. I mean, this isn't just like snap your fingers. Okay, I'm fine with it. It will start out as tolerating, but you need to do work of like, if I want to be with this person, I have to accept them fully and not try to change them or tolerate it. Because I realized I thought tolerating and accepting were the same thing.
Yeah.
Until I read this. I thought, but that's the difference. Like so much of our arguments have been you tolerating me and being like, yeah, I see your point. Okay, yeah, I'll change. Or me going, yeah, you're right. Okay, I am like, you're right.
Like
I'm
kind of somewhere in the middle.
I'm going to keep being annoyed by him, but I'm going to keep it quiet. Instead of actually, when I'm annoyed by him, doing the work and going, Nikki, do you accept him or reject him? Either move out or learn to live with him. But you cannot, when it's in between, it will lead to the rejection, and it'll lead to a rejection that is not a rejection with love. Now, this is about rejecting with love or accepting with love.
Wait, I love that. Wait, are we doing a real life scenario, or are we still doing?
No, I mean, I realize it can work in any relationship.
I'm just feeling like it's getting blended, and I just was wondering.
No, I mean, funny to my example at the beginning. But I just, if this is like interesting to you at all, the book is $2.99 on Apple Books. It's The Answers, and it's written by another woman, but it's all of Dr. Pat Allen's like kind of quips. And I talked to my friend was visiting some family recently, and she was feeling really anxious about a person in her family that makes like kind of bullies her, kind of like a person in her family is like me, a know-it-all. I have the final say. I've done the research. I'm telling you like it is. This is a thing. That you do that behavior because I know it. And she disagrees a lot of times, but she's so scared of this person, of talking back to this person and standing up for herself, that she just shuts down and goes like, okay, well, maybe we'll just talk about it later. And then resentment builds. And this person, I realize, I go, because I'm like this person you're talking about, I know that when you just shut down and like get quiet and don't stand up for yourself, it makes me fucking furious. Because the other day, my sister literally goes, you're a know-it-all. She was like, why does everything you say, you sound like it's not even like a suggestion. It's like, it's the final word. Because I was talking about God, and I was like, I know there's a God now, and I've let God into my heart, and I know that's hard for the family to recognize, but like, I know there's a God. And my sister goes, you're such a know-it-all. Like, maybe there isn't a God. Like, do you? And I go, I'll entertain the idea that I could be wrong, but I know that I'm right. And I actually, thank you for standing up for me. I go, Lauren, thank you, because I needed to hear that I was being a know-it-all. My tone was not appreciated. So I told my friend, I told her this example where if you would have asked me before the conversation with Lauren, I would have been like, I don't want her to confront me and say I'm a know-it-all. That really hurt to hear. In the moment, it hurt to hear. Nick, you're a know-it-all and your tone isn't good. And I was just like, ugh. But instead, I was like, wow, my sister stood up for herself. The reason I get a bullying attitude, and I'm not justifying it, but sometimes the reason I go so hard is because I'm trying to get the person to stand up to me, to like tell me to, because I don't want people in my life being doormats, and so sometimes I treat them like them to a point where they'll bust and like yell at me like you've done sometimes, and then all of a sudden I'm like, yeah, you're right. Like I just want.
But what is that behavior of like wanting to keep like putting it?
Because well, it's definitely a character flaw of mine that either people have to accept or reject, and I have to work on myself of not. It made that moment where she stood up to me made me change my tone of how I approach things. Like. So as hard as it is, and I've done this with people too that I'm scared of approaching, because your biggest fear when you your biggest fear when you confront someone about something you're scared about is that they're gonna go, well, fuck you, we're done.
Yeah.
And let me just say that doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. When you stand up and say, I don't feel good about how you're talking to me and your tone, and I'm gonna just walk away from this conversation until you decide to speak to me in a better tone.